and like one of his standard heroes. I'm not sure what's exactly left because I mean the Medusa is one.
Yeah, true.
It's not that bad as a setup. You kind of have like these two huge ultimates with a Medusa ulti and the Void Chrono to kind of make your fight.
I kind of like Gyro too, for the same reasons.
Exactly.
Yeah, they function
Gyro
similarly.
would be also, it's probably going to be like nothing surprising because Illidan usually gets one of those carries that it's nothing really surprising at all.
No crazy stuff.
All right, well, VP looking at their last ban here. As we talked about, we're likely going to see a core taken out. Just depends on which one they feel is more valid of a ban. I think the Medusa is much better in the late game. Gyro gives you kind of that mid-game presence where VP don't really feel like they can push at all. Like against Sphere and Gyro, even if you can swap like one hero, say the Sphere even lands on 2, you pretty much guarantee kill the other hero.
You can kill Tidehunter with Gyro early game though, and I don't think you really can with Medusa at all.
That's true as well, yeah. But the other thing is, I don't think it matters so much if they don't kill the Tide, as long as the hero that's laning against them can deal with it so the supports can actually leave the lane. Because a lot of times if you get stuck having to deal with this really annoying offlaner, you just, you know, you can't do much. And they will ban the Gyro. Yeah.
Oh, Viper.
Interesting. I mean, Viper against Lina.
He's really tanky against magic damage.
Yeah.
They have a lot.
I just think they're gonna like push right now. Kind of, I mean, none of these heroes is able to take towers early. I mean, you have VS Aura, obviously, that gives you some push,
it's
but
tiny,
like they can't really commit to these early pushes. But then again, having Elder Titan, you're not really forced into anything. Like, your late game is always going to be good.
VP Polar looking at their carry here. We'll see if it's going to be that Medusa that we talked about, or if it's going to be something else. I mean, really... Wow, Veno! Alright, so maybe they are planning on putting Illidan on the Void, and that is going to be the case. And it's going to be a Venomancer mid.
And it's an offlane Ogre, so it's actually not the core Lina that I thought. I mean...
They did play it last game.
Oh, alright.
Yeah. They offlined the Ogre last game.
I just think the combination... I just think the combination of Lina Sky is questionable to me. Because you don't have really a target stun.
Yeah.
Sure, against a Tidehunter, it's like Sky can kind of keep the hero alone off the lane, but I just feel like if you want to do a rotation onto, let's say, a Veno lane, you just have this Skywrath slow. Like your initiation onto a target is kind of questionable.
I guess they're relying on double slow. I mean, Time Walk and Concussive Shot is decent. I think 50% slow land a stun pretty reliably.
That's true. But yeah, I'm surprised about this Venomancer last pick, to be honest.
Is it just a direct counter to the Void? Apply the pressure mid and kind of buy space for a Void to farm, maybe?
I think it's one of those heroes that's actually extremely difficult to gank.
Maybe they were also like thinking, all right, it could be the Lina middle until then, and then they saw the Vipers, so they kind of had to think of a hero that can do something against the Viper middle, and Viper can, I don't know, Viper can't really do anything about Venom middle.
Yeah, the
like once you GS5,
keep building up.
Yeah, wards level 3, and you just sit there and you send those wards.
It's actually pretty funny.
At the same time, Viper is also such a slow hero in itself, and then having toxicity on top of being already a super slow hero is like, it's one of those reasons I just don't like playing that hero at all.
Viper? I hate it too.
I hate the hero.
Well, I think the lane's pretty much turning out the way everyone kind of expected here. Both people actually dodging. I think that Mag might be able to get a decent amount in this lane. I don't really think Venge ET is particularly scary as a support duo, at least for an offlaner that has 6 base armor. And
it's also interesting how if they saw that he blocked the upper camp.
Yeah, he instantly bought Sentry Ward. So
he bought, alright.
Yeah.
Well, about that then.
Oh, y'all. He's thinking about it. Oh, the range!
Wow, that's a heartbreaker. He finds it though.
Like, I think if you zoom in, it's probably over.
He's actually, he's stacking the low camp now. So it doesn't hurt him too much.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Mag again though, he's getting a lot. Like he's just...
I mean, he does have a huge creep wave here, so the wave is going to push out. It's just up to VP if they can control it.
What do you think of them choosing to use Lina to zone out Sedoi instead of Lil?
I guess it's more like comfort zone, I would say, that maybe FNG likes to do it.
Yeah, he's better at it maybe.
I think Sky is actually maybe the better hero actually just to get levels in general.
I mean, he would be the standard to me as well. Like,
yeah, he should just own it.
But is it what items does Lena have? Does he? No, he didn't have boots either. I was wondering who. Maybe some of them have boots, and then obviously the support with boots would usually do it, but neither of them have. So.
Bit of a rotation.
As for the early game, I don't really think we're going to be seeing a whole heck of a lot of action from either team. I mean, sure, Skywrath Lena can potentially get a kill here on G. If they get a Gale, I think that's probably where we're going to see the death.
Mac went for the early Orb of Venom on his hero, so he
did it last game as well. It's hilarious.
Yeah, he's got a DD, VP Polar.
He's terrifying.
Getting in position right here. But G has the spider sense, and his lane's actually in a really good position right now.
I actually think they could tower dive him maybe.
With the Ogre tanking?
Yeah, I mean, obviously he doesn't see the supports and how far they are, but if they don't have TPs, I think the Viper just dies.
No TPs. Well, shot him as one, I guess. But apart from that.
Like so far, quite the boring laning stage, but to be expected, to be honest. Neither side can really.
Venom's kind of like the most passive hero in lane. Like he just sits there and puts wards down and holds him.
But I actually think
with the lane being consistently pushed out, like what Venomancer does, normally it would open up opportunities for you to be able to like rotate around. But if you do that, I mean, Mag's still pretty much able to sit in experience range, whereas Sadoy is running through the river right now trying to get away from FNG. So.
He's still level 1.
Yeah, as far as what the offlaners are able to accomplish, I think Mag is still being given a little bit more room. Not by much, but even getting like level 2 or 3 on an Ogre, if he goes mid with that Orb of Venom and level 2 Ignite, I think just between like him and Phobos, they'd be able to easily push G back.
Even with 3 points in Grosso skin? I think it'd be really hard to kill him.
No, you wouldn't kill him, but you would be able to get him out of the lane, I think. He does have a salve though.
I like the way G is playing. He's not letting the wards build up. He's constantly attacking them and getting them down, so he doesn't have that like constant wave of wards. Because you have to keep them in track, like you can't let them get out of hand.
I mean, to me, there's 2 ways of playing this Venom on the mid lane. One way is you gather up wards on your side of the hill.
Up on the high ground?
Yeah, and I think it's the harder way to play, where you just like gather your wards, you make sure you have a ward at runes, block your wave, and then just sit on your hill, and you can practically, like if you play it very, very well, you can practically deny the entire wave, and he can't do anything about
if you micro all the wards at the same time.
Mag with that haste rune, living life on the edge here. Jadam doesn't have mana for a stun yet, but
he doesn't seem that comfortable on the hero, to be honest.
The Ogre Magi, you mean?
I know the Venomancer in middle.
Venom. Yeah, okay.
He's like, I don't know. I think
he's kind of getting out CS pretty hard. Some of that could just be due to ward kills, honestly.
It's a lot of ward kills. I think it's like 10 plus maybe ward kills.
I think the scary thing is that Illidan has 33 CS at 5 minutes and he doesn't have any wards to kill. He's totally free farming, so the supports on the side of VP Polar are doing an excellent job of zoning.
But a bit of a rotation from I don't know what the game. I guess they had Viper ulti.
Yeah,
they were trying to get that kill, but it's still very optimistic, to be honest.
Why do people never get a bottle on Viper anymore?
The bottle?
Yeah, is it he just doesn't need the mana?
I mean, it's a lot of gold investment. It can pay off, for sure, but the way Venom plays right now, he's just pushing out the wave, so even going for the runes while he does it, like Venom has an easy time to first off take away the rune off him. If he rotates with him, he's not going to get the rune. It's really hard, just because of the movement speed. But I also think, just the gold that you spend onto the bottle is a lot. And there's matchups where it could benefit, especially if you play matchups where he needs to get those last hits. Right now, with Venom, it's just very hard to contest him.
He's never going to get up at him.
Yeah.
I think
it's a situational item for sure.
If you were against like a melee that you could heavily harass using your Q, maybe you would think about bottle just because you're actually using mana.
Yeah.
But in this matchup where you're never going to hit Phobos, it's like, why bother?
Okay.
And he finds a region rune just when he needs it.
So, I don't know what Mag has been up to down here, but BZZ is actually struggling to farm.
Oh, he might be in some trouble here. Could be seeing the first blood. Stomp comes out. BZZ trying to get the last hit here, and Yul just comes in and gives him the staple gun. It's fine.
Like, he's very underfarmed compared to Illidan on the Void.
It's kind of surprising. Although I will say that it's a lot harder to control the lane when your supports are pulling like in mass. Not to say that it's a really great excuse for not having as much farm, but at the very least they end up getting a kill on the offlaner, which is more than you could say for what VP Polar.
I mean, he bought the Quelling Blade.
Yeah, he had a Quelling Blade, yeah.
Should be fine. Plus, like, let's say you know you don't get the last hit. Once you have 2 levels in your Stifling Dagger, you are guaranteed the last hit on your tower.
Yeah.
Like, you will see if you casted that creep or not, and if you can't, then you can choose to Stifling it.
Yeah.
Just like now.
Like that.
Well, I'm sure he'll be fine. He's now got 3 levels in it, so last inning should be quite a bit easier. You can see there's some ancient blocking being done here as well by VP Polar, which is nice. To make sure the Tide isn't able to get any stacks. I'm surprised he actually just hasn't spent more time like stacking beforehand. Did they ward it earlier than 7 minutes? Because they just dropped that ward.
No, they didn't, no.
So you'd think maybe it just would have been better off for Sedoya to try to go stack, even though he was still so low level, because he wasn't getting anything in this lane.
I honestly think he could have tried to work around the small camp and just take that, because he's still sitting at 0 CS. Like, he got nothing on that lane. He got the level 4, I guess, staying passively, but...
I like this though, what they're doing. They give the Mask of Madness to Illidan. They say, okay, you go in the jungle and we get level 6 on Lina. And then when PA wants to fight, she's just dead.
Actually, I was actually wondering why he chooses to go for the Mask of Madness first item, but it's a nice way. This way, we also will get the farm on the Lina, so he can work on the Aghanim's.
Is Mask of Madness more farm than going Treads and Morbid Mask, do you think?
I think Treads, Quelling, normal Mask is better.
Okay.
But
I mean, obviously in a Sphere, it's better to have the Mask of Madness, like if you plan on fighting.
Does he choose to get a... Yeah, he chose to get a Quelling. No, I think it's probably the fastest you can go. Okay. It is probably the fastest you can go, yes.
He also has the Mask of Madness in case the team fight does arise.
The bottom lane here looks like VP are finally starting to apply some tower pressure, just forcing Mag really far back. I just can't believe, like most of the time when you see offlaners, they do not so great, but Sedoya has had an exceptionally hard game.
I think it's the right move to do though, to pressure the safe lane. For VP Classic, that is. Just because they see the rotation, what VP Polar does right now. I mean, that's one way. The other way would be trying to set up a gank for the top lane, because Void is obviously, like, since he's showing nowhere, he's in jungle. Like, you can take that guess. But I would say that VP Polar right now gets more out of it. The offlane is not, like, they're not getting the tower, but that's, like, just the issue of pushing for them. They don't really have anything that pushes. They have VS Aura. But yeah, right now I think VP Polar is actually going to go ahead in this, just because the Lina is getting free thrown on the lane, while Void does not suffer at all in the jungle.
G's going for a mech, but I think honestly with maxed out Veno wards, even with a mech, how are you going to push into any tier 1s? I mean, that's kind of the biggest concern that I have for VP. And if you go a little bit later, you might be able to get a blink on your Tidehunter, which would be nice. PA could get a handful of items, but I mean, BZZ, if he wants to fight safely, he needs a BKB. And I think if you try to go for a build where you delay the game a bit, like go back for a Battle Fury or something, then the Void's just going to have more time to make his item progression reach a point where he can actually BKB and not just die for it.
I think the game depends quite heavily on which team takes the aggression first. Like if VP Polar, they get level 6 on Lina, or level 7 even now, and then they go aggressive and they set the pace of the game. I think it'll suit them a lot better.
I just think the initiation is very questionable to me. Like,
on VP Polar?
Yes.
They get a free kill. Gonna use Sphere for that one as Sedoya ends up dropping.
I guess they do have Chronosphere. I guess that's what they're relying on.
Oh, he wants the RNG, but it looks like it's on Illidan's side as he backtracks one of those hits.
TP. All aboarded. Actually, they could have maybe gone for them there. They boarded all 3 TP while he was walking back.
Yeah, but they have Chronosphere.
I still think if you look at the late game from these two lineups, that VP Classic scales better to me. Just because the Void Chronosphere, until he gets like a refresher, you will only have the single swap, and the single swap will always, like, is always going to save the person in the chronosphere. Unless he gets this ridiculous chronosphere of where VS +1 heroes in the chronosphere.
I think they're actually VP Polar strongest now, nearly. When they have only like the level 1 swap. Like, it's very difficult actually to hit a level 1 swap on a chronosphere. It's actually a lot smaller than, it's 100, but it's a lot smaller than you think. You know, if you're on the wrong side of the chronosphere, you can't actually swap.
I mean, they might try to go for G. He lands a Gale. TP reaction coming in. It's going to be Yol actually. 1 stun coming out. DK Phobos actually throws out the ulti. He's going to be slowed because of that. Going to eat a magic missile. Likely going to be dropping here. Can they get any return kill? Looks like they do manage to take out the Elder Titan.
And just everyone TPing home.
I mean, they traded a mid for a support, which isn't really great, but I think he was going to die either way.
FNG. Oh, I think he might just blow up Johnson. 44 life.
Oh, the Dragon Slave, almost. I mean, he's level 7 at 12 minutes and also has a Staff of Wizardry, so if he wants to go for a Yule's or a Force Staff...
He should have some more item. He's going for a Yule's, no?
Yeah, no wait, that's Mag Stage's Master.
He had another, like he had the, okay, bot wards on a stick, I guess.
Well, it's 2-2 at 12.5 minutes in, so I think everyone can agree that it's maybe not the most action-packed game
I think he's going for a Battle Fury, so my expectations of BZZ going ham have literally...
No, I think it's the right item choice though. Completely, because again, how do you breach high ground? I think what VP Polar should try to aim for is trying to get the early Roche.
He is maybe not dead. Actually going to turn around and ult onto BZZ. He's trying to run into Fog here. Mag, he's got 5 seconds on another stun. Has plenty of mana for it. Is he going to have the time? Magic Missile comes through. They kill Lil in the meantime off to the left. BZZ actually going to be living. Pops the salve. Mag now wants to get the heck out of here. Comes back in and gets a crit. The double. Are you serious? What are the odds?
Holy crap.
I think he would have gotten stunned in time though, wouldn't he?
From
the Elder Titan, he was actually setting up the stun right there. So, I mean, obviously having the crit, he got the kill now, but I think he would have gotten stunned there in time.
I don't know, that was crazy odds. I mean, if he didn't crit twice, I think Mag would have been able to TP out of there, no problem.
No, but I was talking about the stun. I think he would have gotten stunned in time.
The clarity potion on...
Is it enough?
Illidan gets the sphere. TP coming in. They do have Laguna Blade. It should be a dead BZZ.
Man, the power of having a high level Lina against a PA early game, and even like super late game as well, I guess.
And you almost have no cooldown on the Laguna Blade as well.
It's ridiculous.
So
but I thought he walks back.
I'm actually wondering if Void is going to go for an axe here.
Maelstrom, maybe, but it looks like
he's gonna, either Maelstrom or early BKB, but I think it's gonna be the Maelstrom. I don't think BKB is gonna be that effective this early.
Don't you think it's too difficult to have to worry about, like, you have Tidehunter, Ravage, and Swap to have to worry about? Do you think that doesn't warrant buying a BKB? Because at least then if you have it, you can sphere reliably knowing that if the Venge isn't nearby, you will still be able to kill your target.
That's true. I mean, BKB obviously wouldn't be a bad item choice, but does he want to get it before?
He wants the farming item kind of thing.
But I think both item choices are fine. It's more like what you make out of it. I mean, if you get the BKB, you obviously want to fight early. But right now, I think Tidehunter is not even close to getting the dagger. No,
miles away. Here's the super defense from... Can he deny it?
G does not care about these wards at all.
He should be able to deny it.
It's a lot of damage.
He has to hit him at the same time. Didn't get it actually. The VP Classic are going to get that, and VP Polar actually pick up Roshan in the meantime.
I think that's a pretty decent trade for VP Polar, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it is good as well.
Would have been very good if he gotten that deny.
Is it Lil that keeps on putting clarities on Illidan? I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah.
Because every time I look at him, he just has a clarity potion on.
It's efficiency. Don't have to go back to base. And speaking of Illidan, he's now got his Maelstrom finished.
I wonder what...
So he finished the Maelstrom right now, before getting the BKB. I think it's the right choice. Just because he should increase the farm speed, he actually needs to pick up... Right now he has the Aegis as well, so there's like...
Very little chance of him dying.
I think it's the right item choice here.
Well, it looks like they immediately want to fight off this, which I think is a pretty strong timing, considering they have everything at their disposal, and Illidan's going to be able to get a regen as well.
I think it's just important that they use the time they have before Tidehunter gets the Ravage plus Dagger. And
oh, BZZ, he's going to get found out here. They don't have vision yet. There we go, he's dead. Okay.
That damage, holy crap. They have so much magic burst with the Ancient Seal.
actually has a lot because that's the second kill on the PA in a very short time.
Yeah, he's been looking on that the broadsword for like 5 minutes.
I honestly think the Battle Fury is kind of a necessary choice, but it's also one that plays into what VP Polar want to do, which is have a longer period in the game where BZZ is not going to be able to live. I mean, you have two supports that kill your core. You know, I don't really think that's ever a position that you want to be in.
The question is what item, like he needs to get the BKB for sure on PA. I think if he wants to fight, because he's gonna, like, sure there's gonna be an axe at one point on the Lina, but he's gonna need that BKB, else he's just gonna get bursted by Ogre, Veno ulti, and Skyrath. But they actually have two. I wasn't thinking too much of the Veno ulti here, but it's actually a decent counter to the PA as well in the late stage of the game. Just because you have the Lina already, and then BKB is like the second item that. I mean, the second hero that's kind of good against the BKB on the PA. I still think, though, looking at the later portion of the game, I would still give VP Classic the edge. Like, depending on how good the game is running for them now, if they can get towers out of this Aegis, the first Aegis, pushing high ground against Titan, and eventually a Tidehunter dagger is going to be very scary.
Like BZZ late game will probably one-shot most of VP Polar with the Elder Titan aura, and pretty much all of them.
Yeah, that's true, but they have a good potential of 4 deaths on their heroes, but not sure. It can definitely go either way right now.
I have a question for you, right? Say you're Lina in this game, and you get your Aghanim Scepter.
He's actually working on the axe, so he's not going for the eels or force.
If you get the axe before BZZ gets his BKB, do you not upgrade to axe so you do more damage with the Ancient Seal, or do you upgrade anyway?
I think you upgrade anyway, right?
No, but isn't it pure damage?
Yeah, it changes to pure when you get Aghanims. But
it is magical.
It's magical. Right now.
You should still upgrade it. Like now he's going for it either way, so the earlier he finishes the item, the better.
True, like you keep it in the base.
Yeah. And isn't it I mean, with a magic seal, I guess, obviously it's slightly more damage.
Yeah.
But
it's not by much, though. And you also have to assume that maybe Lil's not always going to have Ancient Seal on that target that you're hitting as well, right?
Yeah, but if you do hit it, it's like it one-shots him.
Well, I mean, your base magic resist is 25%, and Ancient Seal at level 4 amps by 45, so it is more damage, but I think if that hero eats a Laguna Blade, it's dead no matter what, seal or not, you know?
Yeah, fair enough.
Oh, they're going to spot out Lil here.
Kind of cool thing to think about.
Not able to get quite close enough. Maybe he wants to try to line up a stomp, but I think Skyrath's too fast.
Yeah. He's gone for threads as well, kind of fearing the PA and the Viper damage, I guess.
It's an alright item choice, I'd say. I don't think they really need a mana boots. Is Mac going for mana boots here on the Ogre?
No.
He's got like 2,000 gold. Maybe he wants to go for Blink, yeah.
He did that in the last game as well, just soloing Blink. Gives them that initiation they kind of need apart from Void.
I think it's a lot stronger in this game than it was in the previous one. Like, even though they won, I just think that having a Blink stun against a PA that still is not going to have BKB, and pretty much no one on the side of VP can live through the combo right now, I think it makes the Blink infinitely more scary.
Yeah, definitely. He's closing in on that BKB quite quickly, though. Like, after he got the Battle Fury, he kind of...
They're still not getting stacks. I think it's a mistake by VP Classic here to not make sure Ancients are unblocked.
It's been blocked like just nearly the entire game.
Yeah, but they can just get sentries.
Yeah,
and I think they should work on that, because they're losing on so much farm. There's just 2 heroes right now that can take Ancients very easily, and especially with Tidehunter, who is very far behind, like who was very far behind, but who has still, his item progress is questionable. I think having those Ancients ready for him is just key.
The thing is, though, it's actually mostly passive regen that he actually got the Blink Dagger from, because he just didn't die, and he just kind of hung around. Like, he only has 28 CS and 1 creep though. Should they have like 3 towers or 2 towers? I guess that helps. So.
You didn't die enough though. I mean, he only has 1 death, so the gold you make just by the pretty much gold per second is still good enough to get that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think you can get it at 16 minutes or something like that. a blink dagger if you don't die.
Oh,
Yeah, but that's without like arcanes, right? You
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
just
like
straight rush it.
Yeah. So I think his timing is still quite good, and he's had a decent recovery given the
Holy
start
crap.
that he's had. But I mean, I think the blink impact for Sadoy is much bigger than the blink impact for what Mag has. So in a way, I feel like VP might start to feel a tiny bit more comfortable, because whenever an engagement happens, and they're actually looking for one right now as they smoke up here next to the tier 2. But I feel like now is where VP actually want to try to get some kind of space going, just to make sure that BZZ can continue his aggression unobstructed. Because once he gets BKB, if he decides to go for it, like right after Battle Fury, then all of a sudden it doesn't feel so bad, and the Void's still not going to be able to reliably kill you inside of its sphere with 3 points and a Blur.
I think if VP Classic fight right now against Phobos with Ags, they will pretty much all die.
I actually think Phobos goes for the wrong item choice.
You think Force or Blink?
No, I think you should get a blink
Yeah.
follow-up item on the axe. I think it's a lot better. Because you can just like blink in, if he gets the ult in everyone, they kind of won the fight.
Yeah.
Right there.
Wow, Illidan really wants to go in here. He's got Sphere. They're going to find G. Where's the swap? Jottam coming in. He will be able to get it off. He's going to sacrifice his own life. The mech going to be popped. Earth Splitter actually hitting on 3 here. First one dropping. It's going to be Jottam on the side of VP Classic. They're going to be able to ult onto BZZ. Laguna Blade doing some damage. They will be able to burst him down. Multicast there. Sadoy, he's going for the Ravage. He gets stunned mid-animation. The Ravage finally lands on 3 on the side of VP Polar. Very messy team fight all around. G's going to be dropping as well. It's a 2 for 3 trade. Make that 4 as VP Polar is suddenly pulling ahead. Yul going for a stomp here, wants to try to TP away. I think he might be able to get away here. Mag has stun mana, but it was on cooldown for just a little bit longer.
Where was the Tide Hunter? The entire fight.
I think it was a really weird engagement because they were cut off from that entire patch of trees. Like Jottam swapped him out into the lane, but that's where everyone else on the side of VP was. So they weren't able to get in
Tidal
position.
was here on the corner.
I'm just wondering if you could have just daggered in there. Like it felt like his dagger was on cooldown or something because he had a pretty...
He might have been worried about the BKB on Illidan, and he was like, let's wait for BKB, let's wait for BKB, and he leaped away like just before the BKB ended.
But the Chronosphere was already used.
Yeah.
It's not like he's going to waste too much. Like he had, I think, 3 targets there to jump to get a decent Ravage off.
Yeah. I don't know. I think, like everything considered, it was fortunate for VP Polar that they didn't just get crushed in that fight. Because I really felt like with the start, like G living, being at still 60% health after meching, they should have lost that fight, in my opinion.
Yeah. But you could also see that the Venomancer already had, like, he struggled quite some to get into the fight.
He only got an ulti off on 2, I think.
Yeah, I just feel like with now having the Veil as the follow-up item, his positioning is still going to be very harsh, especially if you fight a Tide Hunter. You like kind of what you want to try to aim for is that Tide Hunter either doesn't jump you, so you can stay further away, or you just get the jump first, and then Tide Hunter is forced Ravage if he doesn't stay further away from the Venomancer.
At the same time though, you have the wards to kind of keep him at bay and keep that Blink dagger down as well. It's one of my favorite things actually in the game, like using Venomancer wards against the Blink.
Yeah. How are we looking on the item progression on PA? He didn't have the BKB in the last fight, right?
He's almost got it. He's
still
500
doesn't
away.
have it. Alright.
So
Yeah, that was kind of crucial for that fight.
Yeah. I mean, the really downside to, for him, that would have been an ideal engagement if he had magic immunity, just because they sphered and they wasted it. And then you have free reign over pretty much anybody that you want to go on, as long as you have BKB.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit too optimistic on the fight timing there from VP. And truthfully, they were trying, I think, to smoke behind BZZ to try to bait him. So maybe they just wanted to try to keep him safe for a bit longer and ended up fighting when they didn't necessarily have to.
I think the fight also kind of started unfortunate because the smoke got revealed by DK Phobos positioning. So they actually could have chosen to back off there because it didn't really go into their favor on the jump.
Well, it looks like VP Classic still want to try to apply some pressure elsewhere. They're going to go for the tier 1 in the off lane, which I think is a fairly good timing. Like, you definitely want this tower dead if you want to try to position yourself for the next Roshan, which is going to be up probably in about a minute or so.
I think that Roshan is actually going to be really important. I mean, if VP Classic gets the Rosh, they're going to have a huge lead if PA can get it. But
That's a blast
it goes
here on
both
a G.
ways.
He's going to get sealed. Here comes the other Titan Stomp. Phobos maybe looking for a Gale here, hits it on G. They're baiting this out quite well. Phobos gonna ulti only on one. BZ comes in, he's got the BKB popped, he eats an Ags Laguna Blade though. The Elder Titan ulti gonna be coming in as well. Ravage, it hits on two. BZZ with an Ultra. Just takes out everyone on the side of VP in quick succession. Nice Ravage from Sadoy as well.
Holy crap.
And they didn't even kill G. Like, that was probably the ideal engagement if you're
You can
VP
see
Classic.
the weakness of VP Polar's lineup.
It was quite the sloppy play by the Void though. I think he didn't use his BKB in the fight, did he?
He did?
No, he did.
He did, yeah.
Or was it? But
No Sphere.
was it afterwards though? I felt like it was like maybe a last second BKB because he
Yeah, it could have been.
took like everything before, and then he gets the crit as well. I mean, it was kind of unfortunate for him there that Pia gets the crit on the jump, but he was very low before the crit already. It was just a finisher. So, I mean, great fight for VP Classic here, and I actually think they were ahead already in terms of drafting and how the game progression is gonna go. But if they can get the Roche now, I think they get a very strong lead here into the game.
It's kind of hard though, because they know that Illidan didn't Sphere in the last engagement, so they know what's going to be up. And they don't have Ravage.
No, it's true, definitely. Like, trying to get Roche against the Venomancer, against the Chronosphere is very tough. But at the same time, Titan is also a great hero to prevent the Roche.
You can just constantly keep vision.
And he has the eels. Like, he has the eels on the support, so right now he's kind of set on his items. He doesn't really need any item. He's probably going to aim for the 4-step now as a safety mechanism. But overall, I think he's completely set. He also has the levels. He has almost a level 4 Stomp. So for VP Polar here, the Roche attempt is going to be very hard as well.
What do you think of 4-stop against VP's lineup though? It's not really that good against PA really, or Weber. It's okay, I guess, but it's not like...
I mean, if you time it well, I think it's fine, right? Like, if he throws a dagger, you pretty much always dagger first and then jump. So if you just wait for the jump, you can force staff anybody and it's fine, I think. I don't know.
On whom are we talking about?
Like 4-staff on VP Polar's team.
I think it's a good item to
against,
get.
against PA, it's fine.
You need to stop the hits on PA. So you kind of have, I think there's two options. I think the best item against PA actually is a BKB. Just because you can't jump the target, so PA kind of loses all the attack speed.
He has to run to you.
But then again, like if you look at the lineup, I think Veno actually can work on a BKB. It wouldn't be too bad. It's actually pretty good, to be honest. Like if he can get the dagger BKB, it would be good. But it's a lot of items. Like to me, he missed on the dagger. Just the initiation on Venomancer.
There's no way they're actually getting this, right? Like, this sneak is massive from VP, being able to get this Roshan with absolutely no contention. They're going to see Yellow River, but it's too late. VP Classic secure Roshan. Didn't lose a single hero. Now they want to try to go for some kills. Sadoy, unfortunately, not able to get a gush off there. And we're going to see an ulti here onto FNG, but he TP's out. I mean, honestly, that's just got to be oversight from VP. You have a Venomancer. All you have to do is have a ward in the pit, right? And that should basically never happen.
I mean, the wards is, I guess, semi-risky since they have a Titan to it, but you're right, like they were not prepared for that Roshan at all. They were just way too late. And now they gave up a Roche to PA, so PA can pretty much just jump on anything.
She can go with how much
and they either have to spend the Chronosphere there, which is kind of right now their only safety mechanism, I think. They don't really have any 4-staffs. They have no protection right now, so even a Venomancer, I think actually Venomancer would be probably the best jump. If he jumps on Venomancer and he gets to jump off, since he has no, like, he can't jump out, he's gonna get stifling if he gets the stifling off. It's very scary for VP Polar right now.
And Sadoy has an invis here. Still got about 10-15 seconds left on it. If he wants to try to find somebody, he's going to go for Lil here. Gets the anchor smash. Dagger coming in from BZZ. Ghost Scepter is popped, so he's not going to be able to auto just yet. Teleport reaction coming in. It's FNG. Doesn't look like he wants to chase here. Might try to burn through the Aegis. Not able to get the Laguna Blade off.
I actually think he had range for the Laguna initially.
The range is huge on the items.
Yeah, he could have definitely killed him there. That would have been a great pickoff. If he did not go for the Dragon Slave there first, he would have had the ultimate range for sure.
Sometimes you forget though, like when you're in the base and there's kind of weird angles, you can sometimes forget how much range you have on spells, especially.
900 range. Well, they're going to find a kill here on Jottam as Illidan. He goes for the kill. I think he had just wasted his TP during an ulti, didn't he? Yeah, I think he just thought he was going to get the kill and then TP'd and then canceled it. That was weird.
Then again, it's only a support VS, so not too much lost there.
When you're at this point in the game and you throw out a casual sphere to kill solo like that, do you ever feel any kind of pressure that the other team's going to try to fight you now, or do you just think it's too short of a cooldown to really make use of it?
I mean, right now with since he's level 16, it's hard to, especially, it depends on where your lanes are, I guess. Like, if your lanes are pushed, then it's scary, because he used the Chronosphere, but they have the Venomancer as well, still. I think they should try to apply pressure, though. VP Classic, that is, just because they need to use the Aegis.
Need to use the Ravage as well.
As long as they don't have any safety mechanism, and they only have the Chronosphere, still, they don't have Force Staffs. They have a Ghost Scepter, I guess, on the Skyrath, but...
Force Staff.
Oh, but I mean, VP Polar don't have a single Force there yet, so... But at the same time, they don't have Tower Push. It's very hard still to push for, I guess, either team. I mean, VP Polar has the Venom Wards, but that is kind of it.
Yeah. Well, the one thing we kind of didn't talk about so much until, well, basically right now, but Illidan is going to have an MKB soon, which I think kind of changes the outlook of how team fights can go. Because normally, you don't really ever want to sphere PA as Void, at least unless you have high magic damage follow-up, but obviously BZZ now has BKB. But now that you have MKB, you can kill him in a sphere so long as the swap isn't there. Yeah. So you kind of have to have a way to deal with Jotum. But if your supports can take care of that part, I think you can actually kill the PA quite easily now.
I think it's still very hard, to be honest. Like, how do you take care of the Vias? You have like no hero that can just
go on them. I guess Mag sort of on the
It's tough. I think Venom would be the more ideal person to jump in.
Yeah. Well, speaking of jumping, he's got that blink that you were talking about earlier. So.
Yeah. Now he's with the Veil as well. He's pretty set for the team fight, and the push is going to be a lot harder for VP Classic. I think it looks like they're grouping up towards top, and if VP Polar sees that early enough, Venom alone can win that fight.
Yeah. And even if they don't win the fight, they can't push afterwards.
Because they're going to be cocky. Like, obviously the PA is going to stand in front, but if you get a Veil and the Venom ulti on multiple heroes, let's say make it 3, I don't see VP Polar losing the fight, because Void actually has an easy time just choosing who he wants to kill afterwards.
Well, here comes the tier 2 push as VP Classic are grouped up here in position, ready to fight, and it doesn't really look like VP Polar are in too keen of a spot to defend this. They know the Aegis is going to be fading soon. I think it has a minute, maybe even less. And VP Classic are just going to decide to take their free tower and just go back and defend their own side of the map.
The crucial part is actually going to come when the PA gets another 2,000 gold and he can choose to jump the Void. It's going to be scary because he can't just easily initiate. You need to watch out, and forcing a fight like that when you can just initiate onto the Void and you manage to kill him, it's going to be very scary. Obviously, he does have the MKB, but if he gets the Abyssal on the PA, it's very scary for a Void.
Is that always the next item, Abyssal Blade on PA? You just want the lockdown, so you can actually kill Void?
Yeah, he's definitely going to upgrade the Basher.
There was some post about PA, like crit mechanics and things like that, and they say if you attack like 3 or 4 times and don't get a crit and then blink strike on somebody, your chance to crit at least one swing goes up to like 75% chance.
Holy crap.
So in that blink strike duration, you should basically always get a crit, is how the math works, at least, or so I'm told. But when you have an Abyssal and you can like, they call it rigging the RNG, I guess you could say, to make sure that you get the burst when you need it, you can actually just instantly kill any hero.
They just scouted out a DD room. But there's like, I mean, right now they have no outer objectives, and this game is actually very boring.
It is.
Not a whole lot going on.
19 kills.
I just think going high ground for either team is almost impossible at this stage. Like, if both safe buybacks, it's like, all right, how do we fight?
In a way, I think it's actually more stressful for the teams to go late game, because at least if you fight early, you're not going to be losing like 2 sets of racks off of one fumbled base defense, right? Like at the very least, you might lose like a tower, but I think that waiting this long, obviously they feel it's necessary, but it also makes it a lot scarier to lose one fight.
I'd be more worried if I was VP Classic because of the Ogre, Magai, buffing up all his team. I think like super late game, if they're pushing, especially with Lina, like Lina can actually push really quickly late game if she has one item that does a bit of right click damage. With that Fiery Soul.
I haven't talked too much about the Ogre. He actually finished having the axe on top of the dagger.
So fat,
it's like If you can manage to get the 16, you can like pretty much burst anyone on the team. Like maybe not Viper obviously, but all the others are like food to a lucky multicast.
Yeah, just dead. I think Viper's probably the only one that can live.
Oh, he almost has a hard finish. We haven't seen G at all this game.
I mean, he's just been hitting creeps.
He's literally been chilling.
He's got 300 CS on a Viper at 36 minutes. The guy has been getting his farm on, more or less. I think it's good, though. Like, having a Viper that's this fat, it gives you a hero who can just walk up to high ground and kind of hit freely. So if you ever manage to find any picks, it's a lot easier to get tier 3 damage when you have a hero with a heart, because you never have to back.
We say we haven't really seen him, but he's been involved in like 70% of the kills.
Yeah, but it's only because the game has not really had many kills in general.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like, no matter what your contribution to the game is for your team, you still have only had 19 kills in a 37-minute game. That's like a kill every 2 minutes. And for each team, it's a kill every 4 minutes, which is
a snooze off.
It is a little bit. But here comes VP Classic. They, at the very least, want to get in a good position here. There's going to be a Viper ulti thrown out, and keep in mind, Roshan spawning soon, probably about 2 more minutes, maybe less.
I'm actually wondering if he would have had the Titan Spirit from start on the Viper strike if he could have died.
No, that damage was pretty insane.
He had it pretty much close, and it only got him to about
He dropped to like 400 HP. I think on the last tick it was like 3 something.
It's kind of a cute little mechanic, isn't it? When they throw the Viper. Oh no.
Well,
there wasn't even neutral creeps in it.
I mean, do you really assume that they're going to go for a TP there anyway? Like,
well, in a game like this, it's kind of worth it because nothing's happening for the next 20 minutes anyway.
That's actually a good point. No one's going to fight. Might as well just throw it out.
But they haven't seen a Chronosphere.
I will say that Roshan's actually going to be spawning before Sphere is going to be up. Not by a large margin, but it might give VP Classic the incentive they need to try to push the lanes out a bit more and get in position for that. Because, I mean, they actually timed it so well last time that BZZ, when he knew his Aegis was going to be fading, he had a courier following him with a TP on it.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah, I know exactly when this is going to go away. So, smoke here. They know the ulti
Oh
from
my god, the
is
Rune
down.
of Destiny.
This could
But
be...
he actually finished a Satanic over the Abyssal Blade here.
I guess he's worried about Venomancer and like being able to push after the Venomancer ulti.
Like, I mean, I guess that's a mechanism, so Lina
they're going to
ultis
find
and-
Phobo. He's all on his own. He is dead. Goodbye.
How much life will he lose from this, do you think?
Oh, he has to Veil on
Yeah.
as well.
I guess we're going to find out, right? He
He's
doesn't
not
have
gonna
anything to hit.
die, but
It's a lot of damage.
yeah, it's quite some. I think Venomancer ulti without reduction is like 1500 damage, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
It's insane.
Well, they get the kill on the Venomancer, and he does have buyback, but he hasn't used it yet, which means since their lanes are pushed, that VP Classic look to be in a really good position here for this Roshan. Oh, he bought back now. Okay, all right, here we go. Now they're coming.
Okay.
I was going to say, I think it's really weird. But, I mean, keep in mind, BZ still has everything up, and they do not have Venomancer ulti, so this is kind of an all-in play here by VP Polar.
Oh my god.
Oh, here comes Illidan. He's going to get a Sphere on too. The immediate swap from Jotum. Going to keep BZZ in fighting shape, at least for the time being. The BKB is popped. It's a battle of carries right now. Below the Earth Splitter, and the RNG favoring BZZ so heavily. FNG dropped as well, so Doi with a triple Ravage. It's going to be a double for him. Can he make it a triple? Skywrath ulti comes out, but unfortunately the Ghost Scepter prevents BZZ from getting yet another kill on top of that.
Did you see the difference in the crits when BZZ crit him without the Elder Titan Spirit beside him?
Oh yeah. I mean, they're going to try to find something. They just both TP away. All right.
I actually think the Titan's gonna die from that. Yeah,
He is dead. Goodbye, sir.
Maybe both even.
You buy like 7 cloaks.
I mean, that's... Even if they had Phobos for that fight, like getting an ulti off on a handful of people, I still think they would have lost. Because Illidan is forced to Sphere as soon as he sees 2 people in the pit, right? Like, he can't just hold it.
Yeah, but I think that's just the issue about the draft. Like I said from start on, you pick a Void carry into a...
Second pick it as well.
Yeah, but you pick it into the Viets. I feel like that's why I thought the Void is going to be the offlaner, and they choose to run another carry. So you're not in that situation where you have all your farm onto the hero that eventually will not be your carry. Like it's very hard for him.
Do you think maybe it was the fact that they decided to ban Gyro and they didn't maybe feel as comfortable running Medusa? Because at some point, you think maybe a Gyro safe lane would have been a lot harder for VP to deal with, in my opinion.
No, I think Gyro. I think there's still plenty of heroes they could have chosen. To be honest.
Yeah.
I think the Medusa would have been to me the most obvious one, especially after running it the last game, and
Luna wouldn't be too
it's
bad.
also one of his favorite heroes to play, I guess. And they also have the ogre buff, so it's not like running into late game they're gonna be like bad at all with a Dusa. And PA against Dusa is always very difficult for
Yeah,
PA.
definitely.
Well, VP Classic in a very commanding position here. Both carries pulling pretty far ahead.
They still have their mid tier
what
1
VP Polar
tower
have.
at 41 minutes.
It's kind of surprising too, right? Because he was against the Veno.
Yeah, exactly, with the constant pressure. But apparently, G doesn't succumb to pressure.
And actually, I think they can choose to go just push high ground now. Having the extra cheese as well, it benefits Viper a lot.
Look how much health he has.
Yeah, having the cheese on him, like he can die in the fight, not having like cheese or Aegis, but now with cheese, it's very optimal for him. I wonder how far.
Oh, first hit bash. There's the Abyssal and the crit. See you later. He has buyout, and he's going to have to use it if they want to keep their middle set of rags here. Dagger being thrown by BZZ. Stomp actually not going to land, but Jotum swaps defensively here. He's going to find Lil. Buyback from Village. This could be his time. Phobos, he gets an ulti on 2. BZZ going to town on him. Pops the Ghost Scepter. Here comes the Elder Titan Earth Splitter. Hit on Phobos as well. Here comes Illidan. Sphere onto 2. They're going to be able to take out BZZ, but he still has an Aegis. He will be coming back in just a few seconds. They've already lost Jotum here. She might be dying. There's the cheese. Zenoid comes back in. Yule's dodge on the Ravage by Mag. Nicely done, but the rest of the team just not able to stand to what VP Classic have brought here, and VP Polar tap out.
So in the very last fight, they managed to kill the VS first, so he can actually get a Chronosphere off.
Yeah.
And they also, he's like, okay, we can kill him now, and then he has an Aegis. And
But
it's like, well,
it didn't matter.
I really just think the decision making, like you mentioned in the draft, Hani, it's like it's not that hard to do, but just being able to do it every single time is still way too much for VP Polar to deal with. Like Jotum's positioning was always